When things like this happen, everyone generally looks for someone to blame, right? Um, that is valid, absolutely. Specifically, if things can actually be corrected. Right? But when it comes to a natural disaster, I'm not actually sure how much someone is at fault for said natural disaster. They're mostly at fault for how they react to said natural disaster. A lot of comments online are basically kind of speaking about the fact that they're blaming everyone else for a natural disaster. But guys, if she did not do her job adequately and people lost their lives because she did not respond in an adequate way, then yeah, in fact, she does need to resign, guys. I'm not sure she should be in that position if she cannot handle it. But I do also understand the reason why she is there in the first place. There were other candidates that were better at the job than she, but of course, LA being in California and California being California, they didn't care about the actual skills needed for a person to have in certain things, and they just said, "Okay, I think you fit and check these boxes here for diversity, so we're gonna go ahead and hire you instead of what's actually needed to, make sure everyone is safe." But all right, so now of course calls for her resignation are coming out, and we're about to check this out. Yeah. Attorney calls for LA Mayor Karen Bass's resignation in a heated interview. This is a suggestion via Discord, guys. Let's encounter it.
Thank you, Griff. And for more on the wildfires ripping through parts of Southern California, let's bring in criminal defense attorney and evacuee of the fire, Brian Claypool. Brian, I mentioned just a few minutes ago that the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, is about to step to the mic along with federal authorities for an update. But just about an hour or so ago, we did receive an update from county officials. Here's the sheriff. Take a listen.
All right.
Evacuation orders are approximately at 153,000 residents that are under the evacuation orders, and approximately 57,000 structures are still at risk.
Yeah.
Regarding evacuation warnings, approximately 166,000 or a little over 166,000 residents are under evacuation warnings.
The bottom line right now, Brian, from the sheriff there is that the winds are picking up and they're only going to get worse over the next 24 to 48 hours. Your thoughts right now as we sit here?
Hey, Alicia, thanks for having me. Look, my feelings have gone from shock and trauma when at 5 a.m. early Wednesday morning, I'm forced to run out of my house with my teenage daughter, a 9-month-old child, a nanny with one pair of clothes for 3 days, and running to a hotel. So I was shocked and traumatized. Then I went through a feeling of sadness, right? Looking at those images, having people reaching out to me. I've known several people have lost homes, churches burned down, you name it, right? People's lives are just destroyed forever trying to rebuild. Then my feelings moved to outrage. Why? Because I hope Karen Bass gets up when you cover her press conference and announces her resignation today.
Guys, do not rebuild in this location.
She should resign and explain to everybody as well about this alleged leak memo as well, in which she wanted to cut the fire department budget another $49 million within a week before the wildfires. That's been reported. I haven't verified it. Also, let's ask Karen Bass.
Then if it's not verified, you probably should have said it on live TV, guys. But let's continue.
A question for me. Why she agreed to pay the new head of the LA Department of Water and Power, a woman named Janice Quinones, almost $400,000 more than the prior head of DWP. Explain that. Maybe she could have used some of that money to hire more firefighters. And if she had gotten her way with another $49 million cuts in the fire department, guess what? 16 fire departments would have been shut down. And what about the San Ynez Reservoir? Is anybody investigating Quinones and Karen Bass for allowing that reservoir to drain 117 million gallons of water? This isn't fiction. This isn't politics. This is human decency. She allowed that to happen on her watch. One more point I want to make. On Tuesday night, when I'm sitting in my home in Pasadena and I'm hearing about winds predicted of 80 to 100 miles an hour, Alicia, that's hurricane force.
What?
Where was her team sitting there with the electric grid across all of LA County trying to figure out where to potentially turn off electricity to make sure lines don't go down, because I think you're going to find at the end of the day, lines went down causing these fires. How are you not there with your team? Who gives a heck about Ghana? What is her butt doing in Ghana? Who cares about an inauguration in Ghana? Get your butt in town and take care of your people. And now we're dealing with what you're talking about. In Pasadena, we have contaminated water. Contaminated. People can't even drink water, can't shower. What is she doing about that? What is she doing about looting that's happening within 600 feet of where I hope my home is still standing? What's she doing about that? Why didn't she have the National Guard in place before this went down? Lisa,
right.
Look, I'm not trying to play. This isn't about politics. This is about, we live in an ecosystem in Southern California where it's well known about fires. It's well known about mudslides and earthquakes. You know that that's what you get when you want to become the mayor of Los Angeles. And you want to play these silly games about wanting to build homes for the homeless in LA instead of taking that money and taking care of people in LA County who have worked their whole lives to get homes. Take care of those people. Forget about your socially comfortable policies. I mean, we are outraged. Look, at the end of the day, she should be facing a recall. That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay. I just wanted to let him talk because he was incredibly passionate. And I absolutely love when passionate people speak. They generally speak truth to their cause, let's say. Oh, my God. Okay, so now hearing his opinion, obviously he's someone that's being affected by this. So, of course, he's going to be incredibly emotional kind of regarding this here. Now, why was she in Ghana? Was it something that was already planned before all of this happened here? Was she already there? There's so many questions here because we can't just immediately say, you know, a mayor can't do mayoral things, let's say, okay? Just because you may not like the person, at least. And again, I'm just trying to sit here and logic this whole thing out. If she is responsible, she is to be held responsible, period. There's no other thing. There's nothing to talk about here, right? If you did this, this is your fault here, your lack of doing, at least. But if the fire started and then she immediately hopped on a plane going to Ghana, then that's a bigger issue. Then yeah, a recall. Okay, I can see that, right? Because obviously, why are you not taking care of your people, like he said here? That's a little crazy. But I also don't think that she was the best person for the job, specifically knowing that there was another guy in the area who basically has a private fire department for him and his own community, knowing that if anything was to happen, at the very least, he would be fine. He was excessively focused on making sure this type of scenario did not take lives or property. Okay, so. Why are you there when you ran against someone who actually was competent in the region's issues, let's say? All right. But guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. In the meantime, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. The fact that you just made it to the end of the video says a whole lot, actually. We have a couple other channels. MrLboyd Music, MrLboyd Movie Reacts, along with MrLboyd Discusses, where I just generally speak about the things that specifically matter to me. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.